This will be found on YouTube. Just go to YouTube and look for Shelby Lamkin, and you'll look for a playlist that says Algebra 3. We're recording. We're recording. So this is semester test. Okay, problem number 1. 35t minus 45 equals 10t minus 5. You need to subtract 10t from each side. Gives you 25t minus 45 equals negative 5. Add 45 to each side. 25t is equal to 40. Divide by 25. T equals 40 over 25 is, I don't have split screen, so I have to do this. What goes into both of those is 5. Goes in there 8 times, goes in there 5 times. So my answer is 8 over 5, which is answer choice A. Any questions? Okay, number 2. Number 2 says 4 times x plus 7 equals 4x plus 28. There's really no need for the parentheses on the second set. The first set you're going to have to distribute. 4x plus 28 subtract 4x from each side. So you get 28 equals 28. When both of your variables go away and you're left with just numbers, then you have to decide if 28 equals 28 is true or is it false. It is true. What that means is any number in the world would work. You could use any number you wanted in place of x, and since you're doing the same thing on this side that you're doing on this side, you'd get the same answer. So the answer to number 2 is answer choice C, all real numbers. Number 3 says, decide whether the equation is conditional, identity, or a contradiction. Okay, so we need to talk about what those are. Conditional, identity, contradiction. Okay, an identity means it is true for all real numbers. Any number will work. A contradiction means it's false. It has no solution. There's no number in the world that will work. A conditional means it has an answer, such as x equals 3. It means you just solve and you get an answer. So the problem we're working on is 4m plus 16 equals 4 times 4m plus 2. So we need to distribute on the right. Did I do something wrong?
24.
Right here is 24?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Keep me straight, y'all, because I'm having a hard time seeing all this. So I have 24m plus 16 equals 16m plus 8. Subtract the 16m. Let's see, that's 8m plus 16 equals 8. Subtract 16 from each side. 8m is negative 8. Divide by 8. M is negative 1. So number 3, the answer choice is D. It's a conditional. And the condition is, it's true as long as M equals negative 1. Everybody good? Number 4. Number 4 says 5 times 2t minus 31 is equal to, it's not t, it's f, 10f minus 155. Is that what yours says?
Yes.
Okay, we need to distribute. 10f minus 155 is equal to 10f minus 155. Subtract 10f from each side. Negative 155 is equal to negative 155. Is that true? Okay, so since that's true, that is an identity. And that is answer choice A, which says identity, all real numbers. Any number in the world would work. Any real number in the world would work for that one. Number 5, 20k minus 66 equals 4 times 5k minus 17. So we need to distribute. 20k minus 66 equals 20k minus 68. Subtract 20k from both sides, and I'm left with negative 66 equals negative 68. Is that true or false? That one's false. So it has no solution. It's answer choice C, contradiction. Number 6, decide whether the pair of lines are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. What do you know about parallel lines? Their slope's the same, their y-intercept is different. What do you know about perpendicular lines? Perpendicular are going to intercept. We know that they're perpendicular because their slopes are opposite reciprocals. We don't care about the y-intercept. It doesn't really matter. That's not a determining factor. So if the slopes are the same, they're parallel. If the slopes are opposite reciprocals, they're perpendicular. If any other situation occurs, it's neither. Okay? Now what happens if they have the same slope and the same y-intercept? They can be the same line. Okay? That comes a little bit further along. Number 6, the equation says 3x minus 8y is negative 13. And the second equation says 32x plus 12y is negative 2. The easiest way to determine which category they are in is to solve for y. So I'm going to subtract 3x from each side. Negative 8y equals negative 3x minus 13. Divide by negative 8. Y equals 3/8x plus 13 over 8. Solve on the second one. Subtract 32x from each side. 12y equals negative 32x minus 2. Divide by 12. Y equals, what goes into 32 that also goes into 12? 2 and 4. How many times will 4 go into 32? 8. And don't forget the negative. How many times will 4 go into 12? 3. So I have y equals 3/8x plus 13 over 8, and then y equals negative 8/3 x minus 1/6. So I need to compare the slopes. Well, obviously they're not the same. So look a little bit closer and determine if you think they are opposite reciprocals. Are they opposite reciprocals? Yes. So that means these are perpendicular. And that is answer choice B. Number 7 says solve the equation. And it's 2x over 5 minus x over 5. No, that's not 5. What is that? That's 3. Equals 5. Did I copy that correctly? Nobody likes fractions, so we're going to get rid of the fractions. We're going to multiply through by the common denominator. What's the common denominator for 5 and 3? 5 and 3 both go into 15. So you have to multiply every part of this by 15. What's 15 times 2? 30 divided by 5 is 6. 15 times 1 is 15. Divided by 3 is 5. And 15 times 5 is 75. 6x minus 5x is 1x. 1x is equal to 75, so x is 75. That is answer choice B. Okay, number 8. Y over 16 plus 10 equals 13. I would subtract 10 from each side. Y over 16 equals 3. Multiply both sides by 16. Y is equal to 48. Answer choice D. Number 9. What is the perimeter of a rectangle that has a length of 40 and a width of 10? Length of 40, a width of 10. Perimeter is 40 plus 10 plus 40 plus 10. So what's the perimeter there? 100 feet. That's answer choice C. 10 says Jay drove 268 kilometers at an average rate of 67 kilometers per hour. How long did his trip take? Distance is equal to rate times time. And these are the things they told me. He drove 268 kilometers. That is the distance. He drove 67 kilometers per hour. That is the rate. And T is the one I'm looking for. So I'm going to plug these in. 268 is equal to 67 times T. Then you just solve. And T equals 4. So it's 4 hours. Answer choice B. Questions on the first 10? 11. Find the simple interest. Interest equals principal times rate times time. Okay, that's your formula for interest. And this is what they tell me. $3,400 is borrowed. That is your principal. 17%. That is your rate, but you're going to use 0.17 when you do calculations. For 6 months, the time needs to be in years. 6 months is really half of a year. Okay? So we have $3,400 times 17% times half of a year. So I get $289 for for my interest. Answer choice D. 12. Find the simple interest. So we're using the same formula. If $4,600 is borrowed or invested, this time we're investing, but we figure the interest the same way. The rate is 11%, and the time is 1.5 years. So 4,600 times 11% for 1.5 years. $759. That is answer choice A. 13. Solve the inequality. Graph the solution set in both interval and graph forms. So it says x plus 12 is less than 16. We need to subtract 12 from both sides. X is less than 4. So we go to our graph. We have 4, 5, and 3. What kind of circle do you need? Remember, those symbols have an open circle, and those symbols have a colored in circle. So which type of circle do you need? Open. We want a shade where the values will make this statement true. Will 3 make this statement true? Is 3 less than 4? We're going to shade over here. Now when I shade that direction and I even shade the arrow, I'm indicating that any number as far as you can go will work. Well, what do I mean when I say as far as I can go? What's out there as far as you can go that direction? What kind of infinity on that side? Negative infinity. So the interval that we can use here, is anything from negative infinity to 4. Now infinity will always have a parenthesis. 4 has a parenthesis this time because the dot's not colored in, because it's not a equal to problem. It's strictly less than, greater than. Sometimes you'll see a parenthesis here instead of a circle. And then so these would be parentheses and these would be brackets. So 13, the answer is C. 14 says 8y plus 2 is greater than or equal to 7y plus 10. We just need to solve. Minus 7y from each side. Y plus 12 greater than or equal to 10. Then you subtract 12. Y is greater than or equal to negative 2. Negative 2. Negative 1, negative 3. What kind of circle will I put on negative 2? It's supposed to be a 2? Oh, positive. There we go. This is not 12. So now it's not 2. What number is really supposed to be there? 8. Okay, thank you for catching my mistake. Okay, there's 8, there's 7, and there's 9. So what kind of circle do I need on 8? Open. What's going to make it true? Is 7 greater than 8 or is 9 greater than 8? 9. Let's shade over here. So if I could have put a bracket there or a circle. The circle needs to be colored in. Why am I using a bracket? Because it's got the underscore with it. The interval notation here is from 8 to positive infinity. Now infinity always has a parenthesis, but because it says equal to, I'm going to put a bracket on the 8. And this is answer choice D. Now, if you look at your paper and you look at my paper, I completely copied the problem down wrong, didn't I? What did I do wrong in this problem? It's not supposed to have an underscore, okay? So as you go back and watch this video, please take note. Please take note that that was supposed to be open circle, okay? Okay, 15, let's finish up. Fifteen says negative 24 is less than 4y is less than or equal to negative 8. Did I copy that one correctly? Okay, you're going to split it into two parts. You're going to work this problem, and then you're going to work this problem. And you need and in between. Okay. So we divide by 4. We get negative 6 is less than y. Divide by 4. Y is less than or equal to negative 2. On the number line, there's negative 6. And negative 2. What kind of circle do I need on negative 6? Open or a parenthesis, either way. Now, which side do I shade? I want the y's to be greater than negative 6. So is it negative 7 or is it negative 5? Negative 5. So it's this direction. What kind of circle do I put on negative 2? Closed. Which one makes it true? I want the y's to be less than or equal to negative 2. So is it negative 3 or is it negative 1? Negative 3. So this time I shade all the way this direction. When you have an inequality that says the word and, you need the solution to the problem to be covered by both sets of shading at the very same time. So the answer to this would be this part, the part that's double shaded. You might see a parenthesis here and a bracket there. So our interval would be from negative 6 to negative 2, including negative 2. And that answer choice is C. 16 says negative 2 is less than x plus 1 is less than or equal to 1. Same type problem. You're going to split it into two parts. And you're going to solve. On the number line, we have negative 3. What type of circle do I need on negative 3? Open. X needs to be greater than negative 3, so I'm going to shade on this side. 0. What kind of circle do I need on 0? Closed. And it's less than, so I'll shade over here. So the part that's the solution is the part that's covered by both at the very same time. You might see a parenthesis here and a bracket there. So the answer to this problem is the interval from negative 3 to 0. Answer choice C. (17) says using unions and intersections. A contains the following letters: Q, S U V W X Y Z. B contains Q S Y Z. C contains V W X Y Z. And D contains just S. Any question? Did I get all that copied down correctly? Does that look like your paper? So 17 wants us to find A intersect B. That means, what do they have in common? Is there something? Is there one of these that's not correct before we go forward? Let's see, call it out and let me check it. You call it out from your paper, let me check it.
A is Q, S, U, V, W, Y.
W and Y. X and Z aren't in there?